I never thought my life would unravel because of a phone call. It was an ordinary Tuesday night in Paris, the kind of night where the city feels both alive and suffocating. I had just returned from work, exhausted, scrolling aimlessly through my phone while the muted hum of traffic seeped through the window. The glow of the screen was the only light in my apartment. That was when my phone rang. The number was unknown, a long string of digits that didn't look like any French number I had ever seen. For a moment, I considered ignoring it, but something, curiosity, boredom, maybe even loneliness, made me swipe to answer. Hello. At first, there was only static, a faint hiss like wind rushing through a tunnel. Then I heard it, my own voice. Not just similar, identical, except older, rougher, as if time had worn it down. "Don't take the metro tomorrow morning," the voice said. I froze. My heart hammered against my ribs. "Who is this?" I demanded, though I already knew the answer. The voice ignored my question. "Promise me, don't take the metro. If you do, you won't come back." The line went dead. I sat there in the dark, staring at my reflection in the black screen of my phone, my own face staring back at me. I told myself it was a prank, some elaborate trick. But deep down, I felt the first stirrings of something I hadn't felt since childhood, pure, unfiltered fear. The next morning, I almost forgot about it. Almost. I dressed, grabbed my bag, and headed toward the station. The city was waking up. Bakeries opening, the smell of fresh bread spilling into the streets, commuters rushing past with coffee cups in hand. Everything felt normal. But as I descended the steps into the metro, the memory of that voice returned. My voice. "Don't take the metro tomorrow morning." I hesitated at the turnstile. People brushed past me, annoyed, muttering under their breath. I told myself it was ridiculous. Just a prank call. Nothing more. And yet, my legs refused to move forward. I turned around and walked back up into the daylight, embarrassed by my own paranoia. I decided to take the bus instead. It was slower, crowded, and smelled faintly of diesel, but it got me to work. At 9:15 a.m., as I sat at my desk, my phone buzzed with a news alert. Accident on Line 8. Train derailment. Multiple casualties. The blood drained from my face. That was my line. That was the train I should have been on. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, replaying the call in my head. The voice had been mine. Not similar. Not close. Mine. At 3:33 a.m., my phone rang again. The same number. My hands trembled as I answered. "Hello." "You listened," the voice said. "Good. That's why you're still alive." I swallowed hard. "Who are you? You know who I am." "No. This is impossible." A pause. Then, softly, "I'm you." The line went dead again. The second call left me shaken for days. I tried to convince myself it was some elaborate prank, maybe a hacker using voice cloning software. But the precision of the tone, the cadence of my speech, the way the voice paused in the same place as I did, it was too perfect. I stopped answering unknown numbers. I silenced notifications. I even considered changing my phone entirely. But the calls kept coming. Always at night. Always at 3:33 a.m. The third call came on a Thursday. I had been drinking wine, trying to dull the unease that had settled into my bones. When the phone lit up, I stared at it for a long time, my pulse quickening. The same number. The same impossible string of digits. Against my better judgment, I answered. "You need to avoid Rue Saint-Antoine tomorrow," the voice said. Calm. Certain. My voice, but older, heavier. "What?" I whispered. "Because if you walk there, you'll never come back." The line went dead. The next day, I avoided Rue Saint-Antoine. I took a longer route to work, weaving through unfamiliar streets. At lunch, my phone buzzed with a news alert. Gas explosion on Rue Saint-Antoine. Several injured. One dead. I dropped my sandwich. My hands shook so violently I could barely hold the phone. From then on, the calls became routine. Every few nights, the same number, the same voice. Each time, a warning. Each time I obeyed. And each time, something terrible happened exactly where I had been told not to go. At first, I felt grateful. Whoever, or whatever, this was, it was saving me. But gratitude soon curdled into dread. Because the warnings grew stranger. "Don't look out your window tonight. Don't speak to the man in the gray coat. Don't answer the door after midnight. I obeyed them all, and each time I felt my world shrinking. One night, I broke the rule. The voice had told me not to look out the window, but curiosity gnawed at me. At 12:15 a.m., I crept to the curtains and pulled them back. The street below was empty, silent, but then I saw it. A figure stood directly across from my building in the shadows, perfectly still, watching. I dropped the curtain, heart pounding. My phone rang instantly. "You shouldn't have looked," the voice said. My voice, furious. I didn't sleep that night. By the following week, I was unraveling. I stopped seeing friends. I ignored calls from my mother. I barely ate. My life revolved around the phone, waiting for the next instruction. At work, colleagues noticed. "You look terrible," one said. "Are you okay?" I forced a smile, but inside I was screaming. How could I explain that I was being haunted by myself? The next call came on a Sunday. "You must not leave your apartment tomorrow," the voice said. "Why? What happens if I do?" "You'll regret it." I wanted to argue, to demand answers, but the line went dead. Monday morning, I sat by the window, staring at the empty street. Hours passed. Noon, 2 o'clock, 4. I felt like a prisoner in my own home. At 5 p.m., I heard sirens, dozens of them. I turned on the news. A terrorist attack, just blocks from my office. Casualties in the dozens. I sank to the floor, trembling. The voice had saved me again, but I no longer felt safe. I felt trapped. That night, I recorded the call. I played it back again and again, comparing it to my own voice. The match was undeniable. It wasn't just similar, it was me. But how? Was it a future version of myself, reaching back through time? Was I losing my mind, hallucinating? Or was something else, something darker, using my voice to control me? The questions gnawed at me, and the more I thought about them, the less I trusted the voice. Because if it truly was me, why did it sound so tired, so broken? The days no longer had meaning. I lived in a twilight state, waiting for the next call, obeying instructions I barely understood. My apartment had become a tomb, the curtains drawn, the air stale, my body wasting away. I no longer recognized myself in the mirror, and yet I couldn't stop. The voice had become my master. The final week began with a different kind of call. At 3:33 a.m., the phone rang, as usual. I answered, my voice hoarse from disuse. "You must not answer the next call," the voice said. I blinked, confused. "What do you mean? There will be another call." "Not from me. Don't answer it." "But how will I know?" "You'll know." The line went dead. The next night, I sat in the dark, phone in hand, heart pounding. At exactly 3:33 a.m., it rang. The same impossible number. I froze. Was this the other call? Or was this still him? Still me? The phone rang again. And again. My hand trembled. Sweat dripped down my temple. Finally, I answered. "Hello." For a moment, there was silence. Then I heard it. My voice. But not older. Not weaker. Perfectly identical. "You shouldn't have answered," it said. The line didn't go dead this time. Instead, I heard breathing. My breathing. Then a whisper, so faint I had to press the phone hard against my ear. "Look behind you." I spun around. The room was empty. Shadows clung to the corners, but nothing moved. "Who are you?" I shouted. "I told you," the voice said. "I'm you, and I've been waiting." The call ended. From that night on, the rules changed. The calls came at random times, not just 3:33. Sometimes in the afternoon, sometimes just as I was drifting to sleep. Each time, the voice gave me new instructions. "Don't eat today. Don't sleep tonight. Don't breathe too loudly." I obeyed them all. My body weakened, my mind frayed. I felt myself dissolving. Then came a final call. It was raining outside, the sound of water against the glass like 1,000 whispers. My phone rang. I answered without hesitation. "This is the last time," the voice said. "What do you mean?" "You've reached the end. There's nothing left to save." "No," I whispered. "You've been protecting me. You've kept me alive." A long pause. Then, softly, "I wasn't protecting you. I was preparing you." My blood ran cold. "For what?" "For me." The lights flickered. My phone screen glowed brighter, impossibly bright, until it was the only light in the room. My reflection stared back at me from the black glass. older, gaunt, hollow-eyed. The same face I had seen in my dreams. The voice spoke again, but this time it didn't come from the phone. It came from the room itself, from the walls, from inside my skull. "You become me." I dropped the phone. It clattered to the floor, but the voice continued, louder now, filling every corner of the apartment. "You become me." I stumbled backward, clutching my head, screaming. Shadows writhed along the walls, stretching, twisting, until they formed a figure. My figure, older, broken, smiling. The last thing I remember is the sound of my own voice whispering in my ear. "It's too late. You've already chosen." When I woke, I was sitting in the dark, phone in hand. The screen was black. The apartment was silent. I checked the time. 3:33 a.m. The phone rang. And this time, when I answered, I heard a younger voice on the other end. My voice. "Hello," it said, uncertain, afraid. I smiled, though my lips trembled. My voice was hoarse, ragged, older. "Don't take the metro tomorrow morning," I said. The line went dead. Subscribe for more videos.